Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be starting the process of planting potatoes. I have a lot of potatoes that I need to get in the ground, and these should have gotten in the ground a lot earlier in the season, but that's the time that I had. Usually I like to plant them when we still have frost out because they seem to do much better when there's a frost, and also they just get enough rain where they can start growing and they don't get overwhelmed with the water, because right now I do have drip in this area, but I can just shut the drip off for that bed so that they don't get too wet and start rotting. So I did a whole video on planting potatoes last year, and I'll link that for you in the description box below for more information. But this bed, the reason why I'm planting in this bed over here is because I did a whole method that I use all the time, and I'll also link that video for you in the description box below, where I put tons of organic matter in the bed and I bury it with soil. If you're interested to know more on that topic, you can go ahead and watch that video after you are done with this video. So this bed should really be perfect for planting potatoes. It would be better if the soil that I purchased last year was better. It's really hard, it's super compacted, and I don't know how the potatoes are going to do in that, but maybe with some watering and some fertilizer and some love, it's going to do better. But underneath it there's a whole lot of compost, and I think that should help, because potatoes do love really fertile and fluffy soil, and that's what I'm trying to build in these beds over here, because I've been building the soil over the years with this method. But last year we did end up buying some soil. We really did not have any good luck with any of the soil that we purchased. We purchased compost and we purchased soil, and both were terrible. What I'm going to do from now on is just purchase bagged compost and use that instead. Unfortunately, that's a lot more expensive, but because I can't trust the compost and soil suppliers in our area, I'm not going to continue purchasing from them. Fingerling potatoes are really good. They're super buttery. They have a rich flavor and sort of on the sweeter side, and they are super great for roasting also. This variety that I got this year is a French fingerlings. I've never tried this variety before. I wasn't able to find the variety that I grow every year. That was the only available variety. I purchased them from Gardens Alive, and this is my first time purchasing from them. So we'll see how they do. They look really good. They have just a little bit of growth on them. Let me grab them. So this is the Gold Rush variety. I'll be grabbing the fingerlings. But you can see they're pretty good, and they're not super big. They already have some sprouts coming out, so I have to be super careful when I take them out of these bags. I should have took them out and put them in some boxes and labeled them that way, because I was worried that this is going to happen, but I wasn't sure what I'm going to put them in. I should have thought about the boxes. Just the thought came to me as I was getting ready to plant these potatoes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig some trenches, and you want to space them about a foot apart, both in between the potatoes and in the rows as well, so that they can have a good enough space to grow some potatoes for you. And the fingerling potatoes, if the soil is good, I've had really good luck with them. With the variety that I normally grow, they produce a lot, and if you have really good soil, they grow big. They're not thin at all. I grew them a couple years ago in a compost pile where I've been building compost in that area, and I thought this is going to be perfect for potatoes, and it was. They grew about, I'd say about this big, and they were about a couple inches thick, and I was surprised that the fingerlings can grow that big, because normally when you purchase them from the store, they're super small and they don't come in nearly in comparison to the ones that I grew over here. And also they're going to be organic. It's a lot of benefit to growing your own food. So to amend the soil, I have some biotone fertilizer with me, and I'm going to be sprinkling it over the soil after I plant the potatoes, and then scratch it into the surface of the soil. So let me go ahead and grab my fingerlings before it gets dark, and actually let me dig the trench first and then grab the fingerlings and get them in the ground. So to create the trenches, I'm going to use this hoe right here, because I found it to be the easiest way to get these trenches dug up in the size that I want them to be. So I did not buy nearly enough fingerlings to fill this whole bed, and I did not go through the chitting process, which is when you cut the potatoes and let them dry, because you can produce bigger potatoes when you leave them whole like this. So I should have ordered a whole lot more of the fingerling potatoes and of all the varieties. It's a little bit too late now, it's alright. So I ended up planting in this row over here in the middle one that's already covered up some red Pontiac potatoes, and those are the only red Pontiac that I had. And then in this one over here, I'm planting the golden rush potatoes. This is my first time trying these out. We'll see how they do for us. I don't know if I'm going to like them. We'll see. We're going to try them out and see. So you can see they're spaced about a foot apart from each other. And this looks pretty high, but once you bury them, it's just about maybe like 4 inches deep or something like that. So it's not super deep. It only looks deep because this is hilled up over here. It's a lot of soil that has to be taken out in order to create this trench. It's a lot better to plant your potatoes in a trench, because the one thing you are doing when you are creating a trench is loosening up that soil, and also it's just a lot easier to put them in the ground because they are big and you don't want to be digging a hole for each potato. So by creating a trench like this, you can speed up the process, and you can also loosen up that soil so that the potatoes have an easier time to grow their tubers. Again, if you want to know more about potatoes, I'll leave that video for you in the description box below.
Where are my hands, Mama? Where are my hands?
Don't trip. I don't know. You lost them?
Here they are. What is your name? What you ought to do? What is your name? What you ought to do? What is your name? What you ought to do? What is your name? What you ought to do? Get it big. Oh, I broke it down. Oh, we're back.
So I put the Biotone starter fertilizer over the surface, and I scratched it with the hula hoe about an inch or so into the soil. And some of those potatoes are not even an inch deep, so I had to bury them a little bit deeper, because when I was scratching the fertilizer in, I dug up one of the potatoes by accident. So they're not super deep. I might have to come back and put maybe some hay over them, some straw, so that they don't get green on the surface, because if they're exposed to the light, then they start getting green, and that has solanine, I believe the name of the chemical, and it's poisonous to ingest. It can cause a lot of digestive issues, and so you want to keep your potatoes covered so that they don't get green and they don't poison you if you want to eat them. And I also did not mention, I made sure to have most of the sprouts facing up. If the potato had sprouts on either end but not at the bottom, what I did is I had it standing upright so that all the sprouts would be facing up. And that worked out perfectly, and because the potatoes were sitting in the box, the sprouts grew up naturally. Even the ones at the bottom, they were trying to reach to the light. So we'll end up with, I think, a good harvest if this soil is not super bad over here. And hopefully the compost did its job and kind of amended the soil a little bit and made it a little more fluffy. I'm going to be hooking up the irrigation, and I'll give it one watering for now until I start seeing growth on the potatoes. Once I start seeing growth on the surface of the ground, then I'll start giving it more water. You don't want to water it too much earlier on, because the potatoes are going to rot and you'll end up with no potatoes. I wanted to say one more thing and I totally forgot what it is. So I have the soaker hose over here in these beds. It's not great. I will have to change it and put the regular drip tubing. I won't do that now. I'll probably do it throughout the year, throughout the season, because I have a lot that I need to get going before this hosing issue here right now, the soaker hose should do its job until I'm ready to change it. If you want to know more about potatoes, you can click on this video right here and you can go ahead and watch it. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications of whenever I upload new videos. And if you like this video, go ahead and click that like button. I'll see you again next time, and thank you again for watching. Bye.